As of this date, April 9th, 2020, there are currently over 460,000 cases of coronavirus in the United States. This was reported by Bill Chappelle from NPR on April 9th, 2020. Just over 2 months ago, there were 0 cases of coronavirus in the United States. This emphasizes how quickly the virus has expanded and how quickly employers had to change their work environments. This is an exponential curve which highlights how quickly it has been expanding. We are still currently in this exponential curve. This emergency has affected all of us in one way or another. We've had to shift our work experience and our education to online. We had to isolate ourselves from friends and family, and many of us have received layoffs. This raises the questions for employers which they now have to tackle as they use different types of contingency plans. This question we're going to go over throughout the rest of this presentation. The question is, in the midst of a public health emergency, how do you communicate with the staff and the public so that work can effectively continue, and how to handle the stress which everyone is facing? To properly answer this question, we did extensive research on the topic. Through looking at websites like the CDC, and other websites, we use academic journals and credible news sources. Now, Hisham is going to continue going over how to effectively continue work.
So I'll be discussing how to more effectively work from home. So working from home can prove to be a challenge for many for various reasons. However, those challenges don't come without solutions or any ways to ease the burden. You may wonder how you can more effectively work from home, and that's why I'm going to speak about some challenges and some proposed solutions for them. So overworking is the first challenge, and when your personal life and your work life are under the same roof, it can be hard to switch it off. And I got this idea of a challenge from Melanie Polona from Zapier.com in 2020. The second challenge I'm going to introduce is interruptions. So family, social media, and the overall lack of a work environment can lead you to be underproductive, which in turn leads to overworking. And the third one is going to be loneliness. While there are perks to not being in an office, it can also lead to feelings of loneliness, so especially when you don't have a family at home. And I'll be going over in the next slide some solutions. Okay, so the first solution is going to be learn to say no. I got this from Martha White from money.com in 2017. This can be applied to many situations, I believe, such as wanting to goof off or just knowing when you've worked enough and setting your own limits. So you just have to learn how to say no in many situations. The second point is going to be set up a proper work environment. This can be physically and socially. So your family must know when you're busy and respect that, and it's a good idea to leave your phone in another room so you don't get distracted by that. And the third solution is going to be to make sure to take breaks and reward yourself. You can follow your actual work's lunchtime to remain consistent if you wanted, but make sure to take an hour break for the gym or play with the kids or anything like that. Just make sure you're taking breaks so that you're not overworking yourself. And I'll pass it on to Ryan.
Thank you, Hisham. Now that we know it's possible to work from home, we're going to talk about maintaining the discipline and motivation that working from home requires, along with the drawbacks. So now we're going to move on to the next slide here. And when you're working from home, you're actually found to feel a higher degree of autonomy, according to the Center of Business and Economics. This is due to intrinsic motivation that you feel when working from home, because you feel like the work is up to you and not up to someone else. Now we're going to move on to another journal article from the Quarterly Journal of Economics. And it says that findings suggest that people are more productive from home, and there's also a lower attrition rate and higher rate of performance. In addition to that, the drawback is that there's a lower rate of promotion when working from home. So you do want to stay connected to your employer. And now moving on to our conclusion, what does this all mean? This means that when you're working from home, you're likely to feel more motivated and you're likely to be more productive. A drawback is that you may not get promoted as easily when you're at home. So while working from home, you want to make sure that you stay connected with your employer. Thank you. Now I'm going to move it on to Greg.
What is stress? According to 2008 article, Minimizing Workplace Stress by Debbie Legal, Stress is defined as the adverse reaction a person has to pressures on the job or other types of demands placed upon them. Next, I'm going to show you how stress can be minimized. According to Legal, the first way to minimize stress is to prioritize 2 or 3 things to be done each day and do them in the priority in which you set them at. This will allow you to achieve tasks without having to be overwhelmed with how many tasks you have. Another way to minimize stress is not to fill your day with appointments. Leave enough times for emergencies that may arise and give you the time you have to work through them. The third point is to, when making time in your schedule, double or triple the time you think it would take to complete a task. Oftentimes, we tend to regulate time on when we think we can get a task done. We need to allot this extra time because it gives us a window to make a mistake or correct any problem that may occur. Another way to minimize stress is to make time for family and friends. Do not limit your time to work commitments exclusively. What you do outside of the job affects how much stress you have coming back to work and how much more easier it is to accumulate stress. This concludes our presentation. Thank you.